Hey everyone, welcome back to Carrots and Olives. Today I have an unboxing from Black Friday sale, which I am a member. This is from Endlesspens. I'm a member of their program, so they were having sales earlier than Black Friday. It's literally the day after Black Friday, and I already have my order. I placed this order last weekend when their deals started. I decided to get 2 inks and a pen. Wow, this is the first time I've seen like a sticker sheet of theirs. Really cute. Okay. Which to look at first? Let's take a look at the inks. I have been interested in the Tono and Lims inks. So I decided to get 2 different colors. They have, Tono and Lims has a lot of different releases or a lot of different types of like groups of inks. And so I have the blacklist kind, I guess you could say. And these are all like darker colors with a hint of the color on top. So they have like the green, blue. I think they had a red. I went with the green, so it's going to be like a really dark, almost black, but with a hint of green in it. So I have the blacklist green, and then this one is the red dragon. And what was this one? Monster. No. Oh, they're like different series is the word I'm looking for. So this is the Blacklist series, this is the Yugen series, and this one is the Red Dragon. Okay. Last but not least is Gravitas. I hope I'm saying it right. Gravitas. I have looked at this brand probably a couple years back, and because they were overseas, I just felt like it was a little bit out of reach at the time when I was interested in getting them. And then now they're even more out of reach in that, you'll get that extra fee being in the US. However, Endlesspens now sells this brand, and they initially started with, I think it was on Fountain Pen Day is when they announced their this new brand on their site. And so I did end up getting the Gravitas Ultimate Vac Ultim. This has a steel number 6 nib, fine. It's the Ultim color, which is a very smooth material. I don't know why I was thinking it would feel more like super plasticky, but it's not. The pen itself has some weight to it because of the steel pieces here, or the metal pieces. They're like grade 5 titanium, and it gives it a really nice weight. It's very comfortable in the hand. And this color, although I'm not like a huge fan of like yellow or warm colors. It's nice. It's like a nice look and feel. I've been using this pen for a couple weeks now, and I love it. I love writing with it. So initially, before I got that pen, I was trying to decide between the Ultimate Vac or the Monster Gravitas pen. So I decided to get a Monster this time because their pens are still on sale, and then they had a Black Friday sale. So I was like, oh yeah, this is the best time to get a discount on this pen. The pen does retail for like over $400. And so, ta-da, it comes in this really nice case, which is definitely something you can use. You could probably even use them for like eyeglasses if you don't like putting your pens in single cases. But I thought that this was a nice touch because it's definitely something you could use. Some of the other like majority pen makers just put your pen in a box, which I'm not sure how many people put their pens back in the box. I'm not one of them, but this is definitely a good use of the packaging. So it comes with a arm strap, hand strap. This has like a nice velvety texture, and here sits your pen. So this is the pen. I was nervous about this pen. I wanted to go with something that was, when I was doing some research online, I was informed that this pen was very popular, very comfortable, a lot of positive feedback from people who've purchased this pen. So I decided to go with that one first. And since I loved it so much, I was like, let me try this one. So this one is a little bit newer to the brand, I believe. And it's the Gravitas Monster Aluminum. I got it in black. They have 3 colors. They have the black. They have like a blue color. It's like blue teal almost color. And then they have just your regular silver. I went with black just because I felt like, I don't know, I have a lot of blue pens, and then the silver was just kind of boring. The black just seemed a little bit more classic. At first glance, this cap is huge. Like, this is a very big cap. The pen itself is actually quite big as well. I was nervous that it would be too heavy, but it's a nice look. Very classic pen, kind of like a cigar shaped, with flat ends. The Ultimate Vac does not have flat ends. It has like this conical pointy piece on the edges. This one has a large capacity for ink, and the nib is a size 8. The nib here is a size 6. You can see a huge difference in the nib. And I will be doing some writing samples, but I have realized that this fine, I should have gotten an extra fine because it writes almost like a medium. It's very smooth for a steel nib. It writes really well, even in reverse as well. So that's why I decided to get an extra fine. And you can see it's kind of, the nib is engraved with the logo of Gravitas. It has a breather hole. And I'm not sure if this is ebonite. I think this is probably plastic feed. So the material here is very smooth. So this is very smooth, like almost a little bit slippery. Doesn't have too much texture to it. It does have weight to it, not extremely heavy. But this part with the grip, it almost reminds me of the TWSBI Eco. It's the one that has the grip section that has the texture, but this texture is not as prominent as the one on the TWSBIs. Although it just reminds me of that. And it's actually very comfortable in my hand. The grip section does kind of taper down. The grip section on the Ultimate vac tapers, but it also flares at the end here. So it seems like your fingers kind of stop and rest here and they don't really fall down. But for this, I am a little nervous. It kind of tapers out, but not as much as the other pen, it seems like. Now this is very smooth. Wow. Yes. Okay, so vacuum. It's going to fill in a lot of ink. I'm trying to decide which ink I want to use, but this is the pen. I'm really excited to test it out. I hope that it's a smooth writer, but let me figure out which ink I want to use and then I will be back. So I have my inks out. I'm going to test it really quick for you. This one looks really pretty. This is Red Dragon. Ooh, I like that. Definitely a muted red. Right. I like this. I like this deep color. It seems like I can get shading. Oh, that's nice too. So this one is green. Blacklist. I feel like in extra fine, it's probably going to come out black. So I think I'm going to just go for the Red Dragon. Okay, let's ink up the pen. So there's like a second or two delay when it snaps in and then it fills up. So that was my first fill. Hopefully you could see that. You see it better? It's almost halfway. I think there's a way to get it full 100%, but I don't need that. not today for this pen. I like to change my inks out pretty frequently, so I am just going to be okay with this amount. You do get to see it splash around the rod. Might be kind of hard to look at it in the camera, but all right, let's do a writing sample. All right, these colors are still kind of wet. They're drying, but I'm going to use this bottom piece. And let's take the main pen. Ooh, nice. I mean, it is an extra fine, so either it's going to have a little bit of feedback, none at all, or be scratchy. And this is definitely not scratchy. Now the back, it's not as scratchy as many, but you're not going to see much color there. I think you're supposed to open this up to get the ink flowing more. There we go. Okay, so this pen is definitely good for people who have bigger hands than me. I don't feel like it's unwieldy or anything. It's still really comfortable. Definitely going to prevent me from squeezing and getting really tight and crampy in my hand because the grip is pretty girthy. But it's very comfortable. Does it post? I guess it could. I don't know if that's comfortable. It seems like it's not meant to be posted. But and there's a little bit of flex. But the writing experience is definitely better when this is opened up to allow constant ink flow, I guess somewhere in a chamber. Yep, pretty wet for an extra fine, I'd say. All right, let's check out my first Gravitas. So there's definitely going to be a pretty big difference in the line width here. Let's see if I could. And this one is not open. Let me open up this one. Just twisting that. This one has been doing very fine without keeping keeping the knob open. But you can definitely see the line better on the reversal here. And it's comfortable. This is a fine. The ink I have is the Detrimentus black. However, I think it would look really great with this green blacklist color, and I kind of want to get some of the other blacklist colors. I think that would be fun. Yep, these pens are very comfortable to write with. Honestly, like between the two I've had, the nibs are writing very well. It holds a really large ink capacity if that's something that is important to you. I've had this pen inked up for a couple weeks, and it seems like my ink capacity is just about the same as it was when I inked it up. That's, relative to the type of writer you are, how quickly you can go through inks. But if you are someone who writes a lot and needs a large ink capacity, or you're considering traveling and you don't want to have to bring your inks and you want to have pens that can hold a lot of ink while you are traveling, definitely consider this pen. All right. If you guys have any additional questions, please ask them in the comments. I'm going to put a link to Endlesspens in my description if you're interested. There's also there's really good deals going on right now with Endlesspens. I've talked about them many times before and how much I enjoy their program. If you buy a certain amount of pens at a certain price range, you start to become a member and get discount codes. I'm not nearly buying as many pens as I used to in the past, but I think I've been a member since at least 2020. And even though I buy maybe a pen here and there a year, I still am able to keep my discount code, which gives me about 18% off every time I'm buying from them, which is quite a nice deal. So I don't think they do like a system where I can give you a code and you can use it. But if you just go onto their site, they have tons of codes throughout the year. And right now, I think it's like a 20% off code. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope you guys have a good holiday and enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will talk to you soon. Bye.